Oh, hello, everyone. I just cut myself off. Welcome, Paranormal Freaks. I'm your host, Mike, and you're watching Paranormal Highways. Hey, my guest tonight is a great guy. He's done Scarefest forever that I know. Wes has always been there at Scarefest. And I've just recently found out about Scarefest Radio, actually this year. And we got him on here tonight. We're going to chit-chat with him about Scarefest Radio and see if we can't get anything and everything we can about what's going on at Scarefest. But everybody, welcome Wes Forsythe from Scarefest Radio.
Welcome, and thank you for having me.
Hopefully there's no fiery crashes on this one.
Well, I didn't restart my computer, so I've already broken my first rule of podcasting. I always start with a fresh boot, so we'll just see what happens.
And hopefully everything goes well. I tell you what, I mean, it seems like sometimes I get on with people and it's always a jinx or something, and everything goes wild and crazy.
Yeah. That's why I don't do live remotes. Everybody keeps wanting me to do live remotes, and everything is always a perfect storm of screw up when you try to do a live remote. When you have the desire for high quality, the high standards that I have.
I agree with you 100%. I'm the same way. I'm waiting for this program. The program that I use is going to start streaming off into the other streams, and I'll be able to have two cameras with it where I can switch from me to something else, which would probably be the ads and stuff that we use. You know how you've got your ads at 15, 30, and 45 like mine. Well, tonight it's kind of like we won't be doing ads. I might mention some things, but that's about it. All right, guys. Hey, Chris, welcome. Laura, welcome. Hello, Corey. That's my son. All right, guys. Glad to see you here. But we'll get ready for the first question. Wes, how long have you been doing Scarefest Radio?
People, I should have come prepared for that question. That's one of the first questions. Everybody either asks, how long you been podcasting? How long you been doing that? I have no damned idea. I think I've been doing it for 5 years. I think this is 5 years, counting the original format of the show.
So you've gotten 5 years in on Scarefest. Have you been with Scarefest? Was you with Scarefest before this?
I've been. See, that's the thing about Scarefest. If you go long enough, someone will give you something to do. Really, my official presence with Scarefest started with the show. I'd been a part of Scarefest, you could say, for years. I've been to every one except I think I missed the first one. I think I started number 2. And I was going I started off as a paranormal investigator. I had a booth one year just showing my stuff. And then I started podcasting with my old paranormal filler show. Then I came a few years doing the podcast thing, and then we started Scarefest Radio as a segment of a show I was doing for Live Paranormal. I was doing called the Paranormal Icon, which every weekend we were basically trying to the concept was the Paracon that you could just stay home and enjoy. Well, my experience with networks are they never give you everything they promise. So it kind of evolved into just whatever the hell I wanted it to be. And so I started a monthly segment for the Scarefest, and we called it Scarefest Radio. And it was just part of that show. One month a week, we would just highlight something about the Scarefest. And before you know it, 1 year we did that one season. And then the next year I approached Patty. I went in and I said, how would you like to make this a weekly thing? And she jumped at it. She was already ready for me. I was like, that's the easiest sell I've ever made. So Scarefest Radio was born. It evolved from a podcast to the video show that it is now. And now we're going into another phase where we're trying to take it into a more of a content-driven show.
Right.
Right now it's interview type format. We're actually going to try to get our Scarefest fans to contribute content to the show.
Oh, that'd be awesome. That's like me. I was doing that too. I don't really do contributions or anything, but I like you said that the big sell was you walked in and you asked, and it was just like that quick.
Yeah, they were ready for me. They were already wanting to do it. It was like I could have stayed home that day and waited for the phone call. Apparently, but yeah, they jumped at it. And now I will say the thing that I was not most I should have been more prepared for than I was is the deal was they were going to book all of my guests. And now back then the show was all about Scarefest. We've evolved away from that. Where now, if we find a horror producer, or we may have a celebrity on, or a director from a movie that has not been to Scarefest, may never come to Scarefest. We don't worry about that as much. We've moved away from that. But back then, it had to be something to do with the Scarefest, and they would get busy. And before you know it, I was interviewing like the janitor at the convention center before the season was over. It was. I interviewed, and this is a big running joke. She's a lovely, lovely lady, and if she's watching tonight, I just want to know what she's wearing. But I interviewed Kim Ford Johnson, who was the hospitality director. I bet I interviewed her like 4 or 5 times. She was their go-to person. If they couldn't come up with a guest, they'd say, "Call Kim," because she was out partying somewhere.
So she was the go-to gal, huh?
Yeah, she was my fill-in guest. And she got a lot of exposure.
That's cool, though. I mean, I got things falling around my feet, but we're good right now.
If the fire marshal ever walks into my studio, I will be in prison. Anybody comes within a mile of this house is in a fire hazard zone.
I'm sitting here, and it's like, I'm in my bare feet. I got to be kind of decent on the up top for everybody can see. Of course, I don't want to run everybody off. And my feet start moving around, and all of a sudden things start coming towards me, and I'm like, okay, that needs to go away. That needs to go away. Yeah, if there was ever a fire, I'd play heck getting out of this room. That's for sure. All right, so you done Scarefest. You also do readings and stuff?
Yes, I do what I call really bad tarot readings. And it started off as an internet joke. Honestly, I don't want to spend a lot of time on this because it's become this behemoth of my life. But it started out, my friend Ken Boggle he's a great tarot card reader. Very talented psychic. He would do this thing on Facebook once a week where he would do one of the readings where he'd pull a card and give this. Man, I'm sorry, it's pop psychology, he would do a reading for the public, and it's like reading your horoscope in the paper. It just hit or miss, but he did it well. Well, one week he could not. He was on the road, and he said, "I can't do it." And I said, "I got this, Ken." And so I collect tarot cards. I thought they were beautiful. Never did a reading, and never read the instructions. That's part of the blurb. But I pulled a card, and I pulled it from a deck of called the Cat Tarot. And basically, the highlight of it was it had a cat that was holding a boat oar, and it was rowing its way. And I said, "This is a week to try something impossible because cats don't have thumbs." So there you go. That was how in depth I was doing it. Well, it was an ongoing joke we did it for fun on the internet. Some of the readings, it's funny. I would get feedback say, that is kind of what that card means if you really dig into it. Then other people would say, yeah. And they'd say, "No, you're so far out in left field, it's not even funny." That being said, I was at a little Paracon up at Post Town Elementary School. And there were about 100 vendors and probably 10 people walking through the building. And I said, there is no damn way I'm paying my gas money today with these 10 people. So I said, selling T-shirts and whatnot. So I said, you know what? I'm going to do tarot card readings without knowing what the hell I'm doing. And I hand wrote a little sign, said really bad tarot card readings, hung it up, charge $5. It's what you'll tip your Hooters waitress. The first lady sat down. Now she knew me, she'd enjoyed the ones I did online. So she asked me a serious question. And I don't even have a deck that I use. I let her pick the deck. I had 4 or 5 of them with me, and she picked the deck, and it was the Tarot of Fire. Now, the Tarot of Fire is a very beautiful deck, but it only basically the artist incorporates fire into every image. And if he can't come up with a really cool way to do it, what he would do is he would just set the person's hair on fire that's in the picture. Well, she asked me this question about her future, and I pulled the card, and it had a bunch of people sitting around in a circle, and their hair was on fire. That was all that was in the picture. And I looked at it, and I couldn't think of anything funny to say. I just drew a complete blank. And so I looked at her, and I go, someone wants to set your hair on fire. That was the reaction I was expecting. She looks at me and goes, yes. And I'm sorry, what? I knew she'd been ill, but the wonderful lady, her doctors were wanting her, nothing was working that they were doing, so they were wanting her to go into chemotherapy.
Oh.
Serious moment. Kind of took me back, said, wait a minute, how did I get that? Trying to be funny, how did I stumble onto that?
Right.
So I did a few more, and I found out I am freakishly accurate. I still have an issue with people walking up to a $5 psychic and asking for career advice. I've just started prefacing. Now you realize you're talking to a $5 psychic, but I do have a psychic background in the paranormal field. But tarot cards were just doing readings, person to person readings was just never something I gave time of day. So it is a real tarot card reading. My spirit guides whisper the answers in my ear. They help me pick the cards. But at the same time, I do it with my own flair and pizzazz to give you the best outcome that you possibly can hope from a situation.
Just from that sounds, it was all funny, just like you said. That's what you expected. But when she said, she told you that she had to do chemo?
Yes.
Yeah. I think I would have fell out, or actually, I probably would have melted out of the chair.
Well, the show must go on. So I sat there and I finished the reading, and she swears to this day that was one of the best tarot card readings she ever got. So, what can you do?
Wes, I'm glad you've done it, brother, but I don't think I'll ever try. I'll go over to Shay or something. Let
me put the disclaimer on here. There are many, many, many more gifted psychics than myself. I'm just cheap and I'm fun. So
I love it. That's great, though. At Scarefest, you're going to have a booth at Scarefest to do this, right? Or are you just going to do the Scarefest radio?
Oh, yeah. No, that's one thing I hit Patty up that first year. I said, I want my damn booth. If I'm going to work for you all year long, I get a damn booth. It started out actually the booth was just mine. I had Scarefest radio in it and Paranormal filler and everything else. But the Scarefest booth has become a central hub of activity, if you will. We've moved the announcers' activities there. I do readings in it. This year we're actually, if I can work out the logistics of it, we're going to try to do a green screen photo op right there in my booth. Take the portable green screen with me and let people pick their background and email it to them right there on the spot.
Well, that'd be cool
if it works.
But you think that you don't have to have any kind of special camera or anything like that to focus?
No, I've got some software. I can do it, I think, off my production software, but I've actually got some software I haven't used for a while that was really good at taking snapshots. So I think if I can do the background overlay in it, it will be much easier to do because of the snapshot function. What I use to produce the show with the green screen, I don't know that it has a snapshot function. So I might have to kind of rig that with a snipping tool from Windows or something. But we're working on it. It's not a done deal, but if I can figure out how to do it effectively, quickly, without making a lot more work for me. I said it.
They're going to have you so busy you won't be able to do your readings anymore.
It is. It is. I actually last year, and this is how serious people take tarot card readings. This is another. People think that because I do that, I don't respect the tarot. I have a lot of respect for the tarot, but I think it's a lot like the paranormal field. I think there's just a lot of pomp and circumstance involved that does not have to be there every time you do it. But like last year, one lady sat down to get a reading, and I was just starting to give her a reading, and they had this Scream Queen emergency. Long story short, they had rescheduled a panel that I was supposed to moderate, and the girls and these famous women, including Tiffany Shepis, were in there ready to riot because their moderator had not showed up yet. So I ran, did the panel, came back to my booth, and this lady was still sitting there. She said, waiting for me to come back. And I'm going, I have never wanted a tarot card reading that bad in my life. But she wanted her tarot card reading. She wanted to make sure she didn't miss it. And she sat right there and got her tarot card reading. And I gave her the best one I could give her.
Oh my goodness. That's dedication or craziness one. What do you think?
I think people are drawn to me. What can I tell you?
You're a lovable guy, Wes. We all love you.
And I don't try. I really try to get the whole curmudgeon thing going and just, because, I'll put it this way. I consider myself an acquired taste.
I'll be honest with you. When I first came out, the first time I was at Scarefest, I think it was the year before I met Ghost Hunt Weekends. And then the next year, I was actually just going to their events. And then the year after that, I was working Ghost Hunt Weekends. And I think that's the first time I've heard about you, but I didn't know you. And then, honestly, I didn't know you too much until we were in Louisville doing the Inner Light Festival.
And wasn't I busy that weekend? I had people lined up for bad tarot card readings. I was so impressed. I paid my bar tab.
Oh my goodness. I swear, even if you don't get a reading, you got to go over and talk to West if you come to Scarefest. He's great to listen to. He's great to talk to.
I will say, in the process of all this, though, I started this all out. The reason I started podcasting long before Scarefest Radio was to learn and share information about the paranormal. And I still do that. Now I'm doing it on Mystical TV, which follows Scarefest Radio twice a month, whenever the hell I feel like it. But the thing is, I don't have the paranormal investigators walking up to me at the cons like I used to. They used to have heard something on my show, and they'd come up and, we'd discuss, and we'd have a serious paranormal discussion. And that doesn't happen anymore. And that's the one thing I think I kind of miss is that because it's become this caricature for Scarefest, that people forget I was a serious paranormal investigator. I just got tired of watching video of myself sitting in dark rooms for 16 hours.
You're so crazy, Wes. Yeah, that's what you got to do. You got to bring it back and edit it so you can watch it quickly.
I was so anal about it. We would go and I own like 16 cameras. I didn't use all 16 on any investigation, but we had the 4-screen DVR set up, and I was working with a team, and I ran off the video on DVDs to everybody, handed it to them, said, okay, you all go through this. And then, son of a bitch, I didn't trust a damn one of them. I watched every minute of all that, even after they gave it back to me. And I said, you're stupid, Wesley. If you can't relinquish that, and you're going to sit there and be bored about it, just go on and talk about it.
Well, that's the thing when you're doing it and you're sitting there and you got evidence, and all of a sudden, you want to pass it on. That way it's easier for you. But in the same sense, you're like, no, I want to hear it all because I know where it's going to come from. And it's hard to do that when you're a paranormal investigator. I do it sometimes. You don't want to pass it on. You just want to, I'll do it myself. Just like you said, you do get it.
Oh, we froze.
know about.
There we go.
Am I back?
You're back.
There. All
Am I
right.
back?
You're there. There I am. Now see it. Here comes that fiery crash.
Live is hard. That's what I tell everybody.
It is.
Live is hard.
I love my viewers, man. They'll either make fun of me or they'll make some kind of joke out of it. That's what I like about it. They'll say that I'm doing something or something like that. Usually they're making fun of the way I look at people. I'm like,
I am. I can't tell you how many times I've been fortunate that we have the multiple cam setup where they can look just at the person I'm interviewing, because I have had some eye rolls in my day. They're not so much on Scarefest Radio, but my old show Paranormal Filler, which was only paranormal. I had some people.
did you freeze?
It's working here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, there it is. Okay. You had people rolling eyes at you and everything too?
No, I was rolling my own eyes at some of the claims that were made. I interviewed on one of my shows. I had the agent contact me, wanted me to interview his vampire site or vampire expert. I said, that is so cool, a vampire expert. And turns out it's this elderly man who took a writing class and now he writes about his dreams that he has. And
oh wow!
And I'm like, oh my God, I got to go through an hour of this, and you know.
Oh my goodness gracious! Why would he call himself an expert though?
To get on my damn show.
I'm going to come up with something. I'm going to be an orb expert for you.
You got to remember, I was doing this before everybody had a podcast.
You know, I heard that. And it was like the very first podcast I've ever heard of. Because they told me when I got into it that, Wes, he's been doing this for a long time. I said, no, I just barely found out about it.
I don't claim to be one of the first. Let me be very clear about that. But I did. I put it this way: I've been early enough that I've been able to hop on trends before they really caught on. And
that's good though, because I mean, you're at a place that I would be at, with the green screen and stuff like that, which I've got coming. But it's one of those deals that I respect what you do, and I can learn from you, watching and listening, and seeing what you do. Not to steal anything, but just know what I'm saying.
I haven't had an original thought in 30 years. Don't worry about stealing something. I steal stuff all the time. Sometimes it works for me. Sometimes it doesn't,
We got Sherry Hork. She says, hello, Wes. Oh, so we'll get up to the Scarefest part. So we can get you out of the reading part because you said you would.
Okay. Basically, so I was doing the show for them, and that's plugging along. And I will say, since the new owners have taken it over, that's when the real evolution of Scarefest Radio took off. They liked what I did. They figured out that I'm practically a free commercial every week for them, and so they've really embraced me and they've helped me along and give me some resources that I wouldn't have had otherwise. But in the process of it, I talk to them all the time, especially Layla. I see her all the time. And they, after they had bought it, they decided they needed a new website, and they hired this design company to do a website for them, and paid too much money. But anyway, the design company designed it and then said, "Here you go." And none of them knew anything about debugging CSS scripts and actual design components and how to write HTML to fill in the blanks. And this will happen. I had actually pitched, I could do that. I could do that. And they came up Labor Day weekend for Scarefest 10, the 10th anniversary, and said, "Oh my God, can you get our website up and running? And I said, yes, I can. Get me the information. And then I waited like a week, and they finally got me the information. But since then, I've been their webmaster. That evolved into being their graphics designer, which I'm not an artist. I just know how to plagiarize stuff without getting caught. And you know, but I'm visually, I understand what people want when they go to a website. In other words, they don't want to dig for stuff. They want to be able to find it. And that's what I'm good at on that end of it. And so they've embraced me there. And it's hard to tell what they'll have me doing next year. It's just.
I love Layla and Nicole. The way you seen them on the show not too long ago. Well, I tell you what, they can chatterbox away when you get them going.
Yes, I've had them on my show. Yes.
And they make our jobs very easy.
You don't have a lot of talking to do. I'll say that. It's a little hard to keep them on topic, but other than that, yeah.
Now you know everything that's going on about Scarefest. What we got coming up now? Just for the people that hasn't heard anything about it, we've got some things that are coming up at Scarefest where we'll be at. And things are going on, but we actually got Wes here that knows some insights and everything that goes on.
You know, I hope I do. I've been out of the loop this year. They've the timing this year has been awful as far as getting everybody together in one place to talk about stuff. But that being said, launch day we have yet to make that Thursday launch day gel. This was a problem back when Patty had it. We've had good launch activities, but it's just never been anything that gelled. You know, that's the only way I can put it. And so this year they went all out again. And so we're trying, people. We are trying to find out what it will take to make you happy and get you in Lexington on that Thursday. But that afternoon, you can go downtown with Kane Hodder, R.A. Mihailoff, and Steve Nappy, and they are going to be axe throwing. We have an event where you can throw axes with the stars, splitting teams. I won't get into all that, but it's limited tickets. I think 30 people get to compete, and like 25 people, only 25 even get to watch. So we've got that going on that Thursday. Tickets are on sale, I think.
Oh, wow. Did they put the tickets on?
I don't know if they did or not. They will be. They damn well will be. Then right after that, then that night, we're going to take a dinner break, and then that evening, Steve and Dave from Ghost Hunters are leading we're calling it a celebrity event for marketing purposes. But anyway, they'll be over at, they're going over to Talon Winery, and they're having a wine tasting. They're doing the whole celebrity tour thing with them. And the three I mentioned before, R.A., Kane, and Steve, will be there to launch Kane Hodder's wine. And they haven't even told me
he's got a wine?
Talon does these specialty wines, and then they come up, if you can come up with a name for it that's not already been copyrighted, they stick your name on it. So anyway, so yeah, they've Kane will have his own wine. You can get it, and you can get it signed. And I don't know the logistics. We're going to have other chances for you to get it. But anyway, that's part of the big event. So they got all that going on. Meantime, at Sky Bar, starting at 7 or 8 o'clock. I don't know. I've got a banner somewhere. We're doing karaoke. They're going to have a DJ. We're going to have some prize giveaways there. They will have a wine tasting for the wine. I will be there because that's what I do, is sit at bars and drink.
I'm coming with Wes.
We announced it's funny. We announced it on Scarefest Radio. And, of course, there was a bunch of buzz. Oh, boy, get through accent with Kane. And then I said, and I'm going downtown to drink for 3 hours. And then everybody was, that sounds like fun. So we'll see who wins.
I think, there's only 25 people that's able to see the axe throwing. Is it just because
but 25 people plus 30 that get to participate? That sets a high bar for me. I'll have to pack that bar to come out on top now.
Well, I'm just saying, right? But you'll get to see that before we go over to see you, because you're going to be at the Sky Bar right after that, right?
Well, actually, it's all kind of muddled together. But yeah, I think that after you leave the investigation, I will still be at Sky Bar. Yeah.
With or without Scarefest. Right.
But then I'll be telling the horror stories of what they put me through. Last year, I actually got in trouble for not doing someone else's job.
What?
Think at a moment. So that's the kind of stuff we go into a panic mode that last week. You've always heard the old saying about you don't want to see the sausage being made.
Oh, yeah.
It's the truth. That Scarefest is a beautiful duck on a pond. When you show up, it is a well-oiled machine. It's beautiful. It glides across the water. But underneath them little legs are just doing that. So there's a lot of moving parts. There are a lot of moving parts and getting them to all come together at one time is an enormous feat.
There you go, Wes.
No, Chad, I am not. You don't even look old enough to drink. I saw Chad in there. So no.
Oh, I tell you what, hopefully I get a chance to go down there with Wes, because I want to sit down there with Wes and see what in the world happens and as the night goes on.
The drawback to this is I am the king of the launch night. That's all there is to it. But I'm not as young as I used to be. So Thursday night VIP party, about midnight, Wes is ready to go to bed. Oh God.
Do we have to pack Wes?
I usually recover by the Saturday night, but yeah, Thursday VIP. I'm just telling everyone, don't expect me to be at my best at the VIP party.
Come on, Wes, you're always on top notch.
No, trust me. That ship sailed about 10 years ago, buddy.
You'll have plenty of people around to help you out, brother. We'll get you going again. Oh, so all the big announcements, everything's been announced, right?
No, not even freaking close.
Are you serious?
I am serious. I still have. Now, we're coming up on the end. I shouldn't have said it that way. We dumped 5 celebrity names last week that, in my humble opinion, are counting top to bottom, overall, 5 of the best celebrity names we've dropped all season. I mean, we're not talking. I mean, the headliner out of that was Tommy Flanagan, not bigger than Bruce Campbell,
right?
The horror crowd, but pretty damn big,
right?
And down the list, we dropped 5 names last week. I've still got, I believe that I have to look at the message, and we still have to get last minute confirmation on them. But I still have like at least 3 celebrity names, and a couple of them are pretty good names at least. I don't remember who all they sent me. They sent me so many in the list, and it's basically this last minute dump, you might say. As we come up close to it, the agents find out who all is available that weekend, and then they get with us and say, hey, would you take someone, so-and-so would love to come to Scarefest, and say, well, we wish we knew this back in January, but anyway. But so yeah, we still have celebrities to announce. Of course, there is a Saturday night ghost hunt that we've not released all the details on yet. Right. The Saturday night ghost hunt is Ghost Brothers and Wraith Chasers. I don't even know if they're pretty sure they've got the location nailed down. That's one reason they kind of held back. They had to make sure that one of the option was able to accommodate a Scarefest size ghost hunt. And last I heard, it is going to be able to. So they should be releasing the details on that very soon. But so we've got that ghost hunt. They've not even, we're still releasing details on the VIP party, the entertainment for that. A lot of our entertainers, Scarefest is different from most conventions in that it'd be a great convention if all you did was walk in, get your autographs, go to all the booths. But we actually have entertainers come in, wander the floor for your entertainment, in costume, doing little shows. A lot of those are not announced yet that we have to, because basically they still have to sign a contract saying if they fall and break their full neck, they won't sue us. There.
Well, you don't want that to happen, that's for sure.
But I would tell everybody this Friday, Scarefest Radio, 9 p.m., Facebook Live or scarefestradio.com. We do have more celebrity announcements to go. And who knows, some of the ones, see, we've even got some that we have sent the contract to, and they've been holding off on their filming schedules.
Really?
And my understanding is those people are already budgeted in, assuming that they're going to say yes. And so we may even have more after that. I don't know. Now that's just me blowing smoke up everyone's tuchus. But I do know there were contracts floating around that the people said, yes, I want to come if I'm not filming.
Right. So did you say there was like 4 or 5 of them that's that way right now?
I know of, like I said, I know the 3 that we should have locked in. I know of 2 names for sure. I think of the 3, I do think one of them had to drop out due to a filming.
Right.
But there is still the possibility, though, even after that, of more celebrities. I don't know that for sure. That's one thing about Scarefest Radio. I think part of my fan base is they know I'm on their side, and so if I try not to oversell things, but once I know we're done, I'll say, hey, we're done. But there are still definitely names floating out there that we're trying to still get booked in at the last minute.
Well, there you go, guys. You hear it right from Wes, the man that's going to be at the Sky Bar Grill. Can you hang with Wes at the Sky Bar Grill? At least till midnight. I bet you can.
No. Sky, I'll probably be there late. No, that's my part. I don't pace myself.
Oh, you don't do the pace thing.
No. I go all in. I just, if you're going to party, you do whatever your body will withstand. And that's pretty much,
It just didn't do it.
My approach to life.
And listen, guys, we all Uber, we all walk, we all take care of each other. So it's not one of those things where like, oh, they're crazy. No, don't take that. The great big
but for the record, Sky Bar is only 1 block from the convention center. Admittedly, it's one of those big ass city blocks that a smoker like me doesn't like that much, but it is definitely walking distance.
It is. So don't stress out, guys. We'll make sure everybody's there at least for Friday. Now Saturday, well, Friday night's all different.
And on Saturday you have to shuttle because cute story. First year they had something down to Manchester Music Hall, and I didn't know where Manchester Music Hall was. Layla came on the show and was talking about it and said, Manchester Music Hall, that's where we're having the VIP party. It's just across the parking lot. It's in walking distance.
Oh, my goodness.
Now, if you've ever been to Lexington Convention Center, that big parking lot, you need binoculars to even see the other end of it. So, oh, by the way, and you have to cross a busy highway. We forgot to tell you that part. So,
with a blind turd.
Yeah, so yeah, take the shuttle. But we run a shuttle. We'll be running a shuttle to and fro from the axe thing over to the ghost hunt. We'll be running that back to the party probably. We'll definitely be running it back to the hotel. VIP night, they run shuttles, and these shuttles leave like every 15 minutes. So it's not like, oh my God, when are we going to get? Now you go out in front of the Hyatt, you wait a while, the shuttle will show up.
What time does the shuttle start?
They now I'm just going to tell you they will post that usually on the event flyers, like for the VIP party, which officially starts. Doors open right now. Once again, don't somebody they changed it. You're lied to us. No, right now the timing is supposed to be the doors will open at 8. The actual party will start at 9. So the shuttles would start about 8 o'clock.
All right, that's
they don't run them just for the hell of it.
And that's the Thursday night?
Yeah, that's a Thursday night.
Awesome.
And quite often they run it to now. In the past, now this is another one I don't know. In the past, they've actually even ran it to some of our partner hotels. In other words, if you wanted to come, they would put a little thing up and they say, hey, if you want to take the shuttle, it'll be here at 9:00, whatever. And you could. Some of the hotels they even had shuttles coming and going from them. But now that is a separate thing. I'm just saying, watch for that. I'm not saying it's happening.
Right. But just keep an eye on the flyers and everything, but you can catch everything at www.thescarefest.com.
Right. We post everything we possibly, any details we possibly can. We post thescarefest.com. You can also join the Facebook group, the fan group, Scarefest Horror Celebrity Fandom Halloween Expo group. That group gets the news very quickly. And that's a good thing about it in a group. Now, if you just watch a page, like they'll put it on the Scarefest page and nobody will see it because Facebook wants money. But the group is kind of a little outlet, a little sidestep there. If you're a member of the group, then when we post something important on the group, you'll get at least you'll get a notification.
Right.
So you can get it there. And of course, if you watch my show, as details come out, I do announce just damn near everything at least once. But sometimes
tell them once again. Tell them once again when you're on.
9:00 Saturday. God, I don't know. Friday evenings, 9:00. Friday evenings, 9:00. That's live. And then also, if you miss it, it hangs out on Facebook Live for like infinity. We've got a YouTube channel that we're linked to that you can always go back and catch the archives on the YouTube channel. It's on 2 YouTube channels. And we're on Twitter, but now Twitter is very, very weird about the video nowadays.
Usually they take Twitter and just put the link, don't they? Or no?
We actually broadcast on Periscope, and it goes out on Twitter most of the time. Most of the time.
Oh, wow. Might have to check into that. Thanks, Wes.
Well, you're welcome. I had a viewer on Twitch last week. We broadcast to Twitch, and I looked at the statistics. I had somebody watch on Twitch. I said, hey.
No kidding.
One person, but.
I think I tried to broadcast one on a restream, and it didn't even go through. Our live shows, Wes. What are we going to do?
The only thing is, I like live. I like you said about the chat room and everything. In the past, one time comes to mind. I interviewed. He's a cryptozoologist, very famous one. I forget his name now. That's what I do. But I was on Live Paranormal, and they said I've got this interview with this guy, and he can only do it like Tuesday night, and my show's on Sundays. So I said, okay, I'll interview him. So I did, and it felt unnatural. Doing an interview not being live, it felt unnatural to me. And so that's why now I want it live. I don't,
Yeah. I like the realism. You have to
think on your feet. I'll put it this way, it creates much better habits because you can't be sloppy. I used to have little things. Still got it on one monitor, but I had to remind myself to turn my microphone on. I have talk slower. The old one used to say, stop saying and okay. That type of stuff.
I do it all the time. You can. And then I'll get tongue-tied. And see, I just done it again. I'll get tongue-tied and I'll be something like that. I mean, it's just natural.
It is, and that's because you're having a natural conversation. And in real life, people mispronounce words. I've actually made up a few on the air just because they sounded right. Come to find out, I was way off.
Answer to your question there, Chris. I don't know if Wes would know, but go on the Scarefest site, www.thescarefest.com, and they should have that ghost hunt on Saturday. The price for the ghost hunt. Did you see that? I'll pop it up here.
I don't know that the Saturday is posted yet, because that's the one I was saying they were still hammering out details. But if one thing you could always do, if you just don't want to search on the website, on the front page, or actually on every page, because it's a menu. That's what menus do. You can click that little button that says Ticket Center. When you click that Ticket Center, it will take you to everything except the photo ops. We used to put the photo ops on there, but we have somebody else doing them separate now.
Right.
But it has all your different pass levels. And then if you right now, celebrity special events, if you click that, the Thursday hunt is the only hunt that they've posted the tickets on.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, but I can only tell you what was posted on Facebook, and someone who shall go nameless said they would have everything up by the middle of the week. That being said, there's a lot of stuff that needs to go, still needs to be done. But if you watch that, and like I said, the Facebook group, believe me, they want your money. Okay, they really don't want to make this difficult for you to go on your ghost hunt and hand them however much money it is. They do get a little slice of that along with the celebrities. So take that for what it's worth. We will try to sell you stuff.
Well, I tell you what, one of those ghost hunts one year, I think it was last year, we had over 100 investigators there.
That was I didn't go on it. I just got to hear the stories. But I go in that place once a month, and the hair don't even stand up on my neck, and I claim to be a psychic. And people were telling all this stuff that was going on there, and I'm like, wow.
It was something else, Wes. But I was there showing it live. But we had over 100. So those ghost hunts on Saturday nights are not, we're just going in a building and say, "Hey, are you here?" kind of thing. They do find haunted places, which I don't know where it is this time. So, and the
Thursday night, I can tell it's at Talon Winery, which is,
right.
Old, how haunted it is, I have no idea.
And that's what Steve and Tango from Ghost Nation, right?
Yeah. Okay. Now, but because they have not officially released the details on the Saturday night hunt, I know it's one of two locations, but I'm not going to stick my neck out and tell you. One looks haunted as all get out. I know that. But once again, who knows? Because honestly, the place you're talking about last year doesn't even look haunted. You drive in the parking lot going, no, why don't we just go to Walmart?
I'll tell you what, when you pulled up, you thought that. Now, the second time we went there, it was about the same, but it wasn't as, I would say, graphic. But I mean, it was really good. Everybody enjoyed themselves. They had fun. Now, I know a few places. I'm with Wes. I'm not going to stick my neck out there and start naming names or anything else. Sherry was there. Oh, by the way, love you too, Sherry. Thank you. Hello, Emma. I haven't talked to you, sweetie, in a long time. But the ones that I'm thinking of, everybody would enjoy. So if you can, get on there and get your ticket as soon as possible, because I'm going to tell you, when they do figure it out, and we will not know probably until the day of, if not the last hour before we go. But like I said, get on there as quick as you can and get those tickets, and you'll be able to have some fun with it. So that stay popped up there. I don't know why it's staying popped up. All right, there you go. All right, Wes, before we cut out of here, my friend, anything else to add that I may have missed?
Well, let's see. Buttload of celebrities, some really great events, some great parties. If you like weird stuff, that's one thing. A lot of people don't. They're not prepared for the variety of weird stuff that people bring to the Scarefest to vend. We have artists, we have a lot of paranormal type and mystical type vendors, a lot of psychics. I mean, we've got the whole mix. If it's weird and unusual, you will find it at the Scarefest. And of course a lot of collectible items. You talk about we have our celebrities, and then we will have people that buy celebrity autographs and just sell autograph pictures of celebrities. Some reputable vendors on that, so you can complete your collection. But yeah, it is coming up September 12th through the 15th. Of course, it's at Lexington Convention Center. The problem now is all the hotels are selling out.
Oh yeah. I forgot to say that. Go ahead, man.
Yeah. So basically, all people ask in the group, all I can tell you is go on something like Trivago or Hotels.com or whatever, do a search, and be prepared. You're going to have to, Uber in and out probably at this point to get a hotel room.
Welcome, guys. Welcome, Steven. Catching us right here at the end. Hey, guys, anybody on there that wants to ask Wes a question before we get off here, go for it. Anything we might have missed that you did not hear that you want to say?
Oh, now I'll tell you what, something else I didn't plug. I've worked on it a lot this week. The film festival. Now, the Scarefest Film Festival has always been this little event that we kind of held back in the corner, and we had a few people go to it.
Yeah.
And we've had some great submissions. But this year, usually we get like 20 submissions. This year, we went through Film Freeway, and we had films presented to us from all over the world. And I mean, as in subtitles. And I didn't watch those. Okay.
Oh, wow.
If I want to read, I'll get a book. That being said. But no, we really had some great, and I'm expecting some bad stuff because I've seen some of the stuff that people send me on YouTube. Say, hey, look, I'm a horror director. And it's, yeah, I can see the ketchup bottle, dude.
You got a bunch of those too, huh?
But I'm telling you, we got just off the charts, high quality presentations. I mean, it's the worst one I watched. Basically, it just didn't have enough blood. I watched it while I'm like, kill somebody already. Jeez,
for real.
Quit being so psychological and kill somebody. But
wow.
So this year, of course, no, we're not showing. We had 99 submissions. And of course, we can't show all those, but we've put the schedule. If you want to go to thescarefest.com, we've got their little blurbs up, what the movie's about, the shorts. This year we're running the film fest, the feature films in one room and the shorts in another room because we just had so much content that we wanted to be able to include for the public.
Right.
And Kids Day is Sunday. If you got the little chitlins, bring them in on Sunday. That's when we have some people come in. They do crafts, have special entertainment just for the children. That's all. It's practically a separate event. So if you were worried about this not being a family-friendly thing because you got toddlers and 6-year-olds and stuff, come on Sunday.
And don't forget, I didn't ask this with Layla and Nicole, and I should have last time. But I don't know about this year, maybe next year or something. If you want to be part of Scarefest as a volunteer, go ahead, Wes.
If you want to volunteer for the Scarefest, stand around and somebody will give you a job. They will be posting. That's once again, we do most of this through Facebook. Join the Facebook group, the fan group, and then after we get through Scarefest, they go ahead and start taking volunteer applications like a week or two out. It's right around this boom, and then you go in, you fill out a form, and you can volunteer for the Scarefest. But that we will almost as soon. That's one of the first things they do after the expo and after everybody sobers up and gets some sleep. Then they go ahead and they start putting together the team to do next year.
Oh wow! So this is not just an event that's part of the year. This thing lasts all year long. I mean, it's an all year.
Hey, see me, I work for them all year. For Layla, they'll try. They start. Well, they're already reaching out to celebrities for next year, this year, because some of these big celebrities, that's how far out they're booked. It's just that hard to get some of the names that people want. So yeah, they're already in the planning stages on that, and they actually try to. This was my contribution to Scarefest. I said, your first damn celebrity announced before Christmas. That way, people buy it for Christmas presents.
Yep.
See, I'm a capitalist. I am a capitalist. I say,
There you go.
Take money from people if they will give it to you. But that we'll go ahead. We'll probably have a couple celebrities announced, just right around the bend there. And but yeah, the planning, it is an all year thing. Speaker applications, I think we started taking those in November last year.
Wow.
Because I know I announced the first round in March or April.
And those are sold out, aren't they? Or they're out. Or do you all go out and speak?
We got to close it at some point. What it was this year, now we had it all set.
Right.
And then we had another room open up. See, we're having to do things in separate rooms this year because the universe says so. Because of remodeling part of the convention center. So we've kind of shifted things around, but we're still trying to keep everything right there, or you won't have to be going to the end of the food court, that type of stuff. But we're keeping everything close. But we had some rooms there, and one of them, I don't know why it just opened up. Like, did they just find the keys or something? Why didn't we know this ahead of time?
Just to say, on their behalf, they did have a few rooms closed up where they were doing construction, so they may have got done with that area.
That's my story, and that's what we'll use. But anyway, so it opened up some more speaker slots. So we filled some of them. I don't know. I'll put it this way: if you've got a really good topic, if you'd contact Amber Truax on Facebook, she might still be able to sneak you in. I don't know that for sure. But we've got a good lineup of speakers this year. I'm doing like 4, I think, because I did not apply. I said, no, I don't want to take a chance on knocking anybody out. So basically, when they got done announcing everybody, then they went through it and they said, well, would you do this one? I said, okay, yeah, I'll do that. And then they realized they got another spot, and they said, well, that was really popular when you did that. And so, like I said, and then I had to do. We had the big thing, the conspiracy theory thing. And if you don't know why everybody is buzzing about conspiracy theories, this is your first day on the internet, obviously. So when that happened, everybody, it was just, the buzz was incredible. And I said, you know what? We need to do a panel on conspiracy theories. Now, I'm the moderator for that one. I'm not actually doing that one. Although, me, I'll put my 10 cents worth in. But we added at the last minute a panel of several of our speakers that were already speaking that are into that type of thing. And we're going to do, basically the audience comes in and they throw out, what do you think about this? And these people will have an opinion.
Well, that's good, though. I mean, at least you got a lot of speakers. There's a lot to do at Scarefest that a lot of people don't realize. You got the speakers, you got the live that you all do right in the center of the whole thing. Where you have the people come up on the, what is that little scaffolding thing that you all got?
Yeah, we call that the main stage. Yeah.
Main stage, there it is.
There's usually something going on there. Of course, now see, okay, I mentioned the VIP party. I forgot to mention the costume party. We have a costume ball. They're playing around with the judging, but we are going to try to have it where certain judging is done during the day Saturday. That is because over the years, to make it easier on the judges, we moved it all to the night. So what people do, they come Scarefest, enjoy themselves all day, then put on their costume. I miss that about Scarefest from the old days. Cosplay was just off the hook. Yeah. And so this year we're trying to do more to encourage people to come in costume on Saturday. But then we'll have the costume ball. And now that is not a special ticket. If you have a ticket to the Scarefest, wave your wristband or whatever the hell they give you, and you can get into the costume ball. And we'll have a DJ there. That night, G. Tom Mack did Cry Little Sister for Lost Boys. And he's a famous musician. I interviewed him last week on Scarefest Radio. Archive is still up on Facebook if you look real close. But he's doing a free concert right there on the main stage of a bunch of his music and Boy, he talked to me. His music he likes. If it's somebody else's music and he likes it, he's going to play it. So, so we got that entertainment going on. My favorite horror movie. I just saw that pop up. Showgirls.
Showgirls is a horror movie?
Scared the piss out of me. I tell you.
I love him. Oh my goodness, Wes, you're something else. I was trying. Oh, somebody asked. I think it was Emma. You have a podcast besides your Scarefest Radio?
Okay. No, you can go back if you want to. Go. You can. If you go to scarefestradio.com, underneath that you'll find the audio archives. And if you actually go to the Spreaker site, in other words, you click something, it'll actually take you there. You can listen right there on the site. But on the site, I've done a lot of podcasts over the years. Paranormal Filler, and now that website's still up, and the archives are still there. Paranormalfiller.com. That was I was doing that one until Scarefest Radio finally just took so much of my damn time that I just said I'm not doing that one justice. So I quit while I was still mediocre. And but now after Scarefest Radio, like I said, twice a month, I'm doing Mystical TV, which is basically we're trying to move all the paranormal stuff off of Scarefest Radio and onto its own show. Scarefest has always been a horror and paranormal convention, but like it or not, the fan base is 90% horror and 10% paranormal. But paranormal guests are easy to get. Everybody wants to talk about their ghost hunting, and there's plenty of psychics running around. There's just, it's a lot easier to get guests. So a lot of times, honestly, and our speakers, most of our speakers are paranormal people. So we've been booking, and we still think we're booking too many paranormal people on Scarefest Radio. Not to say we won't book any, but we're trying to give them their own show to delineate that from Scarefest Radio. Get that out there. So that's on twice a month. The only way I can tell you is join the Facebook group, and when it's on, and when we have announcements, we will post that on there. And I've even been approached about doing another. I don't know if they're talking about doing it through iHeartRadio, but I've been approached about doing another show. That as long as I don't got to give the milk away, you can have the cow. But yeah, so I'm an attention whore. I'll always be out there in one form or the
other. That's Wes right there, brother. Wes, we do appreciate it. We loved every minute of it. I love what you told us. I had a great time, man. A laugh and enjoyment. And my nose is getting stopped up for some reason. I think because I turned the air off.
Yeah. That's one thing I've learned to live. My studio is upstairs. No, the air stays on. There's a fan blowing. I don't care if you can hear it. It's the only way I can survive. So there.
I can't do it. My little AC's right here because for some reason I need a new pump or new air conditioner. It doesn't pump upstairs too well. But anyway, that turned that fan off, and I guess all the allergies start lurking in here. So I'm like, ugh. My nose is getting all stuff up. But everybody, there you go. Like I said, there's Wes Forsythe from Scarefest Radio. You can catch him again. What nights?
Fridays. Friday.
And right after that, you do the
Mystical TV, and I do it like twice a month. So don't think you miss it if you don't see it.
Poor Wes gets tired too.
Yeah, we're trying. I was telling you before the show, we're going to move it off of Friday nights to kind of give it its own identity. And I'm thinking Sunday nights because I'm not usually real busy on Sunday. But doing that 10 p.m. show, that's another thing that 10 years ago, not a problem. But nowadays, you can actually watch my eyelids from the beginning of Scarefest Radio until the end of Mystical TV, where I do them back to back. By the end of Mystical TV, I'm kind of sweating, a little bit of sweat on my forehead.
That's like me sometimes. I had to go to 9 o'clock at nights because of the way my work schedule it is, and I didn't want everybody to bunch up in trying to eat dinner and hurrying up to watch it or anything like that. I like
my thing. Well, I like doing everything at 9 o'clock because honestly, I always looked at everything as audience, and nobody on the West Coast is going to even think about tuning in until 6 o'clock. So
exactly.
Earlier, so I moved it to 9, and then I thought the idea was I'm already on the radio. What the hell? What's another hour?
Yeah, right.
It's a big thing. So
and that's me doing an hour here, but I usually do. Sometimes you can catch me at cons and stuff with the stuff set up, and I'll do it all day long with them. And it's like by the end of the day, I'm like, oh.
Well, see, of course, I talk a lot at Scarefest. I do the seminars, and then I'm the official announcer. Although we'll have other announcers doing a lot of the work. But then I talk to people, and of course, it's loud in there, so I push my radio voice a little bit. And by Sunday, you can listen. You come up with a digital recorder, record me on Friday, and then come back on Sunday and record me. My voice gets lower and lower and lower. And my radio voice. When I leave Scarefest, I cannot speak normal. I'm only using my radio voice at that point for whatever reason.
You do a lot of talking. Hey, they love talking to you.
What it is.
All right, guys, we're jumping over this. We love you guys for watching. Don't forget, Ghost Hunt Weekends will be at Scarefest along with all these celebrities and everything. Come catch us there. Paranormal Highways will be at Scarefest too, right there with Ghost Hunt Weekends. They're our biggest sponsors as of now. Woohoo! And if you're always excited about doing a ghost hunt, go on www.ghosthuntweekends.com for your ultimate paranormal fan experience. And that's it for the night, guys. Love you much. Don't forget, Thursday night, we got the lovely Ashley Wiseman on. She's a medium empath, and you're going to adore her very much. And always and forever, stay spooky, my friend.